are 6 stats that you need to track if you want to make $30,000 a month as an online sports coach. And in this video, I'm going to walk through every single one of those stats, what they are, and how to improve them so that way you can actually make $30,000 a month coaching athletes online. If this is your first time here, my name is Nick. I run an online consulting company helping sports coaches achieve time and financial freedom by using the online mentorship model where they can train more athletes, make more money, and create a life of real freedom. If you're a returning subscriber, welcome back. I got an absolute banger for you guys, okay? So I want to preface this by saying that if you are not tracking your stats, then you are going to have a bad time. I just got off a call with one of my scale clients who's at $17,000 in total revenue this month. Amazing. And I'm asking him some of these numbers and he doesn't even know them. And he's sitting there asking me what he should do. And the answer that I gave him was like, dude, I'm not even sure what you should be doing right now because we are literally just guessing, okay? And so these numbers hold true if you want to make your first dollar online or you want to make, $30,000 or $100,000 a month online. These are just the numbers that you need to know using the actual funnel that we teach inside of our coaching program, Remote Training University, okay? So the first thing that we need to know is number one, new leads. Okay, it sounds super simple, right? Nick, of course, we gotta know how many leads we're getting. Yeah, but a lot of people aren't tracking this, right? And so we'll define a lead as an inbound message or a new follow, right? The reason why we define, and this is on Instagram in particular, the reason why we define a new lead as an inbound message or a follow is those are people who have shown, hey, I am potentially interested in working with you, okay? So this could even be like, if you don't want to track follows, you don't want to send outbound messages, you only want to reach out to people who are inbound messaging you, which I think you're probably leaving a lot of money on the table if you do that. But a lot of people, they don't want to send outbound messages, they just want to receive inbound. New leads could be inbound messages, okay? So if we are not getting enough new leads, oh, see that catch? If we're not getting enough new leads to actually get people into the program, we're actually gonna have to work our way backwards, which I'll walk you through at the end of this video, okay? The second thing that we need to do, that we need to track, is gonna be touch points. And so touch points are probably the thing that people have the most friction to tracking. All touch points are our total amount of unique conversations that we're having every single day. So let's say, little Johnny messages me on Instagram, today's Monday, and we have a conversation carries over to Tuesday, and then it carries over to Wednesday. Each of those days, that counts as one touch point for the day, okay? So we wanna track how many touch points that that we have every single day, right? How many unique conversations am I having that day? A lot of people have a friction to tracking this stat, but if we don't know how many people that we're talking to every single day, right, then we can't really see the flow that I'll show you here in a second, okay? So after touch points, we need to track pitched calls, okay? The reason why we need to track pitch calls is because of the next stat that we're gonna track, right? But the big metrics right here so far that I want you guys to understand is that there's going to be a drop off at every single stage, right? Not every single person that inbound messages us or follows us is going to be like an engaged conversation that we're having every single day. And certainly not every single conversation that we have is gonna turn into a pitch call, okay? The touch point to pitch percentage, and this is just rough, if I'm having 100 conversations, I'm going to pitch 3% of my total touch points. So if I have 100 touch points, if I have 100 unique conversations every single day, I'm gonna pitch 3 people, okay? And so obviously, as you can see, as we increase the number of leads, we're going to increase the number of touch points, which is going to increase the number of pitch calls. And then the more calls that we pitch, the more calls we're going to book, okay? So the next stat is book calls. Now, a lot of people only want to look at how many calls they're booking, or they only want to look at how many messages they're getting. But the reality of the situation is that you could be getting a ton of new messages and you could be booking a ton of calls, but if you don't know how much you're talking to them or how many touch points you're having per day, and you don't know how many calls you're pitching, it's very difficult to identify in the system if our goal is to get more calls. Do we need to follow up with more people, right? Do we need to talk to them over a 3-day, 5-day, 7-day, 10-day period in order to get them ready to pitch a call? Or do we just need to pitch more, right? Are we just not asking enough people to get on a call with us? Or are we pitching one person a week because we have no leads and our marketing is terrible, right? So slowly you can kind of see how this is going to go, okay? The next one is going to be calls taken, okay? So calls taken. Of the people that you book a call with, not every single person is going to show up, right? Not every single person that books a dentist appointment is going to show up for that appointment. It's just kind of the nature, right? We ideally want to see an 80% plus show rate. The client I just got off a call with, he's got a 90% show rate, okay? But the bottleneck in his system was the fact that he didn't know how many touch points he had, and he didn't know how many calls he was pitching. So typically, we would like to see at least a 50%. My best clients are getting a 60% plus here. Pitch to book rate, okay? So if I book 6 calls, I pitch 10 of them. And so me and this client are going back and forth trying to identify okay, what are his best next steps? And he's like, okay, Nick, I've taken 9 calls this month, right? I've booked, I think he said 10 or 11. I don't know how many people I'm pitching. I don't know how many new leads I'm getting. I don't know how many touch points I have. But I think that, I think that I need to, set more appointments. And I'm like, well, dude, we don't even know. We don't even know if we need to get more leads, right? Because he's asking me hey, should I run ads? I'm like, dude, I don't know. Maybe you have more to squeeze out of your current base if we can get the appointment setting better. But he doesn't know, right? And because he doesn't know, I can't tell him what he should be doing, okay? The last thing that we need to track is new clients, okay? New clients. This is obvious because this is where the money is, right? This is where the money is. And so this client in particular signed 6 new clients on 9 calls taken, which is a 67% close rate. Okay? 67% close rate, which is phenomenal on a $3,000 or $3,500 online baseball coaching program, okay? So 9 calls taken, 6 new clients, 80% show rate. All of these stats over here look amazing, right? All of these stats over here look amazing. And usually, if you know me, you know that when I see 67% close rate, we're probably underpricing. But there could be another effect further up the funnel to where he's just not giving the time of day to a lot of people who aren't 100% already sold, ready to go, right? And so we need to know every single one of these stats in order to identify where is the big constraint, right? And so if we knew that his touch points or his touch point to pitch was 1%, then he needs to be more aggressive with his touch point to pitch, okay? If he's pitching a ton of people, calls, but he's only booking 20% of them, then I was actually on a call with another client earlier. He's training an appointment setter. His pitch to book rate is 20%. Before he hired the appointment setter, it was 35%. And I was like, bro, this pitch to book rate is super low. Let's look at the conversations. And we start diving in, and he's just having conversations with people who are, quite frankly, never going to buy, right? But because he had the metrics, I could go in and go, dude, your conversations suck. You're just wasting time with people who aren't qualified. I bet your pitch to book rate goes up, and I bet your total number of calls get booked goes up. because we're focused on the people who are qualified, right? Whereas this other client is ironically doing better revenue-wise, but has no idea what's going on. He's just charismatic and really believes in his program, so he's closing the world, right? So what's the point that I'm trying to make? The point that I'm trying to make is if you want to make $30,000 a month, right? The client over here, he obviously, like, if we want to make $30,000 a month, we need 10 new clients, okay? Let me just erase this whiteboard. I've been trying to do these in one take without erasing the whiteboard, but I'm just going to erase this whiteboard right here, okay? We need 10 new clients, approximately. We could even do it with 9, but let's just say 10. At the current statistics, if our goal is 10 new clients, because we are charging, let's just say, $3,000, okay? Then we can just work our way backwards. Well, if we're closing at 67%, then we know we need to take 15 calls, okay? And if we know that like 90% of people show up, let's just say we need to book 18 calls. Right? And let me insert the stats here. I don't even know what that is. 15 divided by 18. Let's just say like 85%-ish, if I had to guess. Okay, you don't have to be smart to make money online, right? Okay, so 18 calls booked. Let's say his pitch to book rate is 60%, right? Then we know, what would that be? Through, not 24, would it be 30? Yeah, he would have 30 pitched calls, okay? 30 pitched. Okay, that's 60%. And let's say he's actually got a 3% touch point to pitch. What would that be, like 900 touch points, I believe. Okay, which if we do that over the course of, if we do that over the course of a 30-day period, right? I believe that that's only like 30 conversations a day, right? But the only way that we can know that, and then obviously we could go to like new leads and stuff like that, right? But the only way that we can know what we need to do is if, number one, we know what our targets are here of how many people we need to talk to, how many calls we need to pitch, how many calls we need to book, how many calls we need to take, and then how many of those we need to close, right? And then we can work our way backwards by knowing what every single one of these stats are. And then let's say we aren't having 900 unique conversations. Guess what? We need to start running ads, or we need to get better at marketing so that way we can have more leads. But this is really a math game, right? There's an art and there's a science to making money online. It's mostly a science because there is a way to improve every single one of these stats. And obviously, if you want me and my team's help improving these stats or even making sense of these, and helping you go to the next level, whether you're already making money online or you want to start, then you can check out the link in the description, join our program, Remote Training University. If you just want to continue watching these YouTube videos for free, that's 100% cool with me either way. Anyway, hopefully you guys get a ton of value out of this. Make sure you're tracking your numbers. 10 new clients a month is the ideal number at $3,000 if you want to make $30K a month online. Catch you guys in the next one. Peace.